Everyone, this is a how-to video on explaining your options for exporting notebook files into either a PDF or into the image options, which would give you each page of your notebook file would be a separate image. All right, so first you need to go through and look through all your notebook files that you have made over the years. Mine are over here, as you can see. Okay, and I kind of have them all situated as so. Okay, so let's say I spent some time and I found, maybe you want to mark them. Okay, if you do a two-finger click on one, you can mark it with a dot or a label, I should say. But one I know I want for sure is sound. So let's say I open up this one, which you already have ready. And if you know for sure you don't need those, maybe hold on to the ones you're not sure of yet, but these all take up a lot of space, so I could, in theory, drag the ones I don't need, like this one, to the trash. Because each one of these can be very large in size, especially if you have pictures and animated objects and stuff like that. All right, so I just loaded a notebook file. All right, and this is the one I want. And there's a couple things you need to prepare first before you export it. So you need to go to File, Page Setup. Okay, it's defaulted to Portrait. You want it to be Landscape. Okay, that option there. You click OK. That'll give your exporting images a little. It'll just be in the longer view, so to speak, and it'll be a little bit bigger and nicer for Google Slides. All right, or if you decide to use the PDF and post it to a Schoology or Seesaw course, it'll load better on kids' iPads. All right, next option would be to go through, and I highly suggest go through everything, maybe even go to Presenter View, okay, and see what stuff you have that's interactive. Well, that thing right there is interactive. That reveal box, so to speak, hide and reveal. So I would go back and I would click on it. Whoops, I just did it again. With two fingers, at least that's what I do. And then, oops, I must have missed it. Or you go to this little down arrow right here. Excuse me, I'll show you that again. I went a little bit fast. You click on an image, maybe I don't want that guitar, and you tell it to delete. But I do want that guitar and I don't want this one right here. This box that is covering up content. When you export your notebook file, it'll flatten the whole thing out, every single page, and nothing will be editable. That means you can't fix the typing, you can't move things around, and nothing will animate. It'll be a static image, all right, whether you do a PDF or an image file. So I gotta get rid of that. I don't need this one, so I go to the little down arrow, see you later box that's hiding some content that I want. In this case, I do like the hand over the image, even though it doesn't move. So anything that's interactive, you need to get rid of. Okay, and then you have some options. You go to File, and the first option under Export As. Actually, there's four options, but the ones that make the most sense for us will be either a PDF, or every single page will turn to image files. So I'm going to show you PDF. Okay, PDF is a file that can be readable on any technology device with a screen. Okay, and then they're easy to load. That's why they're web friendly as well, and friendly for all of our apps. I already turned this stuff off. You might have this enabled. The page borders, I would click off of that. It gets rid of the little outlines, and the date will be there. I would just delete it. It remembered me doing that when I was practicing earlier. So if you don't care, the little date would be up there. You can just leave it too. And then you click Continue. All right, oops. So now, you give it a name. Okay, and it'll be on the desktop. That's where I would send it, and then you can bring it to a spot later. You can go look, and you can go through and find your specific folder if you want to as well. It's kind of easier if you click the down arrow. Then you can go, maybe it's inside Documents. But for this demo, I'm just going to send it to the desktop. All right, so there it goes. So I'm going to hide notebook. All right, there's my window from earlier. And you can see my PDF, Sound 3rd grade, is on the desktop. Now I could save that for later. PDFs aren't all that big in size, which is nice. You can also load this in the future, and you can screenshot these separately and bring them into Google Slides later. Or some teachers simply just wanted a PDF version of their notebook files. And then I can post this to Seesaw or Schoology, and kids can look at it. They can mark it up in other cool, innovative apps on their iPad, like Notability, Explain Everything, things of that nature. Okay, so PDFs are useful. All right, back to our other scenario. So let's say I go File, Export. For my second choice of image files, it's plural because each one of these pages, I think I have around 10, will turn into its own separate image file. So here we go. All right, so I'm just going to call it Third Sound Images. All right. Again, I can find it and go to my documents and send it to a specific folder, but I'm just going to send it to the desktop right now. I could click a new folder and call it Third Sound Images. Okay. All right, I could create that. Now it's on my desktop. Actually, it is. That's pretty helpful. So I'm going to save it into there. And there they went. So I'm going to hide notebook again. And then you can see there's my PDF from before, and my sound image folder is right here. And actually I had 14. So all of those are in here now. And they're all numbered, which is nice. So then I can actually leave this open. Okay, go to Chrome. Go to my drive. Okay, I can go to Google Slides this way. Or I can hit New Slides that way. And an untitled slide presentation will come up. Maybe choose a theme. And then what I like to do is I just like to move this to the left. I have my folder from the desktop, which is right there that I opened, full of the images I just had. And then I can just start dragging and dropping, which is pretty slick. All right, you can see they don't come in perfectly. But if you double click the image, you get this black bar, and you can, oops, sorry, I clicked a little bit too hard. You can adjust the cropping to what you like. And then center it, resize it, okay? Or I could bring it over. Again, this text is not editable anymore because everything's flattened to an image. It's almost like a screenshot. But I could also change the layout of this slide to have some content on the right that I could write over here if I wanted to. So you can always add other text boxes, and you can add other content if you want to as well. Some lines or arrows or other objects and shapes, and you can always animate them inside slides as well if you want some animation back. All right. Other people are around the district making, say, a folder in Colab in their Drive or Google Drive. You can go +sign and make a new folder. Okay, and they could call it Notebook Files 2021. Okay, and there it is. Okay, I opened it. There's nothing in there because it's brand new. And let me click out of that. I can drag my PDFs in there to save them for later. Okay, also it's nice now I have it in my Google Drive, and I can access my Google Drive on my iPad, and I can send it to other apps like Notability, Explain Everything, Jamboard. And honestly, Google Slides is very interactive too, and Google Docs as well. All right, so I also created, everything I showed you is on this how-to Google Doc that I have copies of it I can give you, and it will be available in the library. before school on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Fridays, and even Wednesdays. If you text me a time Wednesday morning, I can stop by and meet with your team as well to go through this. I don't think it'll take you that much time. You might want to break it up into different, say, nights at home working on it, or even amongst your teammates. Maybe each teammate does a different subject if you all have similar notebook files. All right, thanks.